Mark Ubel here from Threekit.com. Today, I want to talk about an important concept, which is how Threekit works with your IT landscape. The first thing I want to hit on before I begin is if you're considering a product configurator or if you already have a product configurator, it's critically important that that configurator is integrated with your tech stack. This is because your product configurator should be talking to everything from your supply chain to your CPQ and pricing systems to your PIM, your DAM, because this should really be an engine for growth and an engine that reflects where your business is at, so consumers and B2B buyers can really see the products that are available and what they want to buy right now accurately. First, I want to talk about Threekit integrating with e-commerce platforms. What I mean by e-commerce platforms is platforms like Salesforce Commerce Cloud, Commerce Tools, Magento, etc. These platforms typically control the layout like product detail pages and catalog and checkout. How Threekit is deeply integrated with these platforms, and Threekit generally is able to read the product data from these e-commerce systems and translate all of those product SKU data and rules into a visual experience. That visual experience is also integrated into the e-commerce platform, into the checkout. Second, I want to talk about ERPs, Enterprise Resource Planning Tools. These are typically big tools for enterprises who are pretty mature, and they control companies' financials and are connected to the supply chain. Threekit can integrate here, and it impacts the product catalog, BOMs, and orders. And this is a way that Threekit is able to source what products are in stock and therefore what to show in the configurator, as well as post-order workflows. So the configured product creates something like a sales BOM that's then passed on to the shop floor, and so folks know how to assemble that product. In some cases, Threekit will read product data from the ERP as well. Next, let's talk about CPQ, Configure, Price, Quote softwares. These are typically used by sales teams to create contracts and understand things like pricing and quoting. Threekit is able to take the product data and options and pricing from these and show that. Threekit can read that data and show that in the product configurator. Next, we'll talk about CMS and DAM. These are typically repositories of content that are served up and stored and searchable in various ways. Threekit, again, can plug into these systems, taking that product data, but also can spit that product configurator experience, whether those visuals in 3D or 2D or augmented reality, and pump that into the CMS or DAM so then you can distribute that however you like. This is closely related to PIMs, which Threekit also plugs into and can spit data into those PIMs, data in the form of visuals in 2D or 3D, that then you can distribute to retailers, distributors, your e-commerce site, however you like. Next up, we'll talk about image and 3D creation tools. These are tools like Adobe Photoshop, 3ds Max, Maya, Unity. These tools are typically used by brands to create, enhance, or adjust images. These are usually where smaller brands start, and they start their digital visualization journey, and they quickly realize that these tools do not scale. You might be able to create tens or perhaps hundreds of visuals in these tools, but you can't create thousands or millions. So if you have a true product that's really configurable, you're gonna realize that that doesn't scale. So these tools, though, helpfully, can spit data into Threekit. Threekit can ingest data from Photoshop, 3ds Max, Maya, and use that as a base layer to then create these incredible visuals at incredible scale. Somewhat related is CAD. CAD is the manufacturing file, the computer-aided design. It's key for manufacturing and design. A lot of folks we talk to say, hey, well, I can just use a CAD file in the B2B space to sell. The issue with CAD, if you're really trying to sell, is that it's typically slower and doesn't have the visual fidelity that you need to really get people confident if you have a high consideration product. Luckily, Threekit can both ingest CAD to help create these visual experiences that are super performant in 3D, 2D, or augmented reality. And Threekit can also spit out CAD files for production once someone has configured their product. Again, CAD is usually not enough for someone who is making a highly considered product where the visual mattered. But again, we can ingest CAD and we can also spit out CAD based on the configured product. And finally, we'll talk about image rendering. Image rendering tools are like V-Ray, but there's a lot of other options out there. These tools take a 3D file and they create ultra photorealistic images. The issue with these tools are actually wonderful. The issue with them is that usually they can only create one image at a time, and that usually isn't very scalable. Threekit is a tool where you can automate the functionality of these tools to create thousands or even millions of super high quality renders at one time based on product rules in the Threekit platform. So when you ask, how does someone create millions and millions of high quality renders? Threekit is a tool to help you create that. So overall, the integration points are incredibly important as you think about visual commerce and a product configurator. I really can't emphasize this enough, that if you're creating this and you are a mature company, you really ought to think about how a product configurator interacts with ERP, eCommerce, CPQ, PIM, DAM, all of your visual assets and tools. And I literally have only scratched the surface in this video. Please visit Threekit.com to learn more and talk to our team, because those integrations will be an incredible point for how you show more and sell more of your product.